And we're live, and we're gonna look at how it's going on YouTube.
And don't forget to invite a bunch of people.
I will. I'm gonna get that going here.
You can get Rabbi in depending on
everything will catch up here. Yeah, let's see. Remember, there's like an 8-hour difference. It's early evening.
Which means that's 7.
Yeah, it's mid-evening right now for him. So let's go on Twitter here and start sending out the invites to see who comes in.
Who knows? We might get lucky, get Doomcock.
Yeah, never know.
Wouldn't that be fucking awesome?
Okay. Can we send you a link to this thing? Or...
Do you want me on? I don't know how well it's going to work with the phone.
All right, then don't worry about it. But you refuse to hook up your computer.
Well, there's not really any place I could set it up.
That's what you got the damn table for. The laptop table for.
Yeah, that doesn't work as well.
It still works. Better than the damn phone. Okay.
Well, we could see what would happen with the phone, but...
Okay, let's see.
I mean, fuck it, you might as well.
Rob, have you ever checked his messages?
Again, you might as well.
Yeah. And then Mecca, who's probably not even awake yet.
Are you deaf?
What?
Said you. We might as well try the phone. See what happens.
The phone?
Yeah, my phone.
All right, fine.
Dumbass.
There you go. And if Rob's got a moment, Burnett did it. Andy Trigger's already live at his own thing. I'm not going to worry about that.
Okay. Want to try and buy him?
Justin? Yeah, what the hell? Hey, where the hell's my burger? I'm waiting like what, 2 days now? Where the hell's my burger?
And my burger. Don't forget my burger.
Anybody else?
Alicia Victoria Parker is one of PJ's. Might be able to get her.
Yeah. I'm not going to worry about it. I got enough here. Enough folks are probably going to ignore me. So
Might be able to get her.
I'm going to mute that. Okay. Actually.
What?
Well, I don't know. Look at the sound to this thing. All right, now let's bring this over here so it doesn't sound like I'm talking in a tin can here. All right. Ow. As we set up for a Wednesday morning, early afternoon session of whining about stuff here. So, let's see. Really should have kept some of those news feeds again. See what's coming up here. Let's see. And let's see. The story continues about Amazon buying AMC theaters. I think it's one of the few companies left that would be interested in buying AMC theaters, probably. Mecca put up one, or at least it hit 2 hours ago, about all the cameos on Mandalorian this coming season, basically being dubbed the Star Wars Apology Tour. And I forget who, one of the discussions last night talking about how it's very much a calculated thing that what Favreau and Filoni are doing is like, look, everything that Kathy's putting out is crap. You know it. I know it, Bob. Okay. So let us do the thing over in The Mandalorian. We'll put in some old stuff, see how that goes. And notice the response. Pay attention to what happens. And what happens, they come out with a simple little, Western, really, about, a bounty hunter. Let's take care of a little kid he finds. Basically, Star Wars meets The Searchers. Or, I don't know. Three Godfathers, what was it? Another John Wayne thing, but. And suddenly, John and Dave are hailed as messiahs. This is it. This is the revelation. They're going to save Star Wars. And again, it taken on its own in a vacuum. It's okay. It's a slow burn type of thing. You got to stick with it for a while. You can't just watch episodes and nothing happened there. Well, actually, a lot of shooting happened in that one. But and I don't think you really have any filler stuff on The Mandalorian. The fact that you got one episode like 20 minutes long, it was as long as it needed to be to get the element in place, because everything comes into play at the very end. Even the filler stuff. Even the filler stuff. There's stuff that comes in at the end that plays a part. So, okay. You're the one in, Steph?
Yeah, I'm in.
All right.
Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, this is just okay. That's confusing shit. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So just leave it.
Just yell from the sidelines here. Yeah.
All right.
Or stay in the chat, but on camera is just going to confuse things. So once again, throwing the invite net far and wide and see who shows up in my little tea party. Yeah.
Well, it says you've got 2 so far.
Yeah, I would.
Aside from me.
Yeah. Channel I come across recently, Max's Models, all one word, no apostrophe. Got a lot of stuff on there, and not just some good history stuff about models, but also some build stuff, but also a lot of gun videos and a few parody stuff. And there's also some family videos in there too. So you sort through it. It's kind of a mixed bag, but some really good documentary stuff about histories of various model companies. I've learned far more about Airfix than I had in the previous 50 years. So. Also doing a lot of recommendation from the rabbi. Zvi Lipkin, rabbi from another planet. He, good channel. Needs to get more subscriptions. He should be monetized. Okay? He's getting close. But one video I think I want to check out later. Want to try big? In fact, just uploaded 3 hours ago. Want to try Big Finish? Don't know where to start. And looks like he's recommending starting with the 8th Doctor, be Paul McGann.
I like Paul McGann.
Yeah, that's where it kind of comes into. He's either the shortest serving Doctor or the longest serving Doctor. So, depending on where they draw the line. If you include the Big Finish stuff and all the stories, he had the role the longest of any of them. Because he went on for how many years between the TV movie and then all those Big Finish things. And let's see.
Yeah, I think even on the computer I would have had the same problem.
Yeah.
As far as getting in.
Well, you just put your headphones in. A little something here. Short-lived and expensive tale of the Ford Edsel. That is an interesting story. I did a thing on that in high school. Oh dear. Honest Trailer Cats. I have to check that out. I probably already have. What do we got? Okay, whatever. Apparently, New Mutants has been backed up to August. Nothing further than that. It's going to be streaming. They're not going. They're finally decided what we decided a long time ago. Do not release this to theaters. You will be crushed.
Oh, Rick and Morty.
Yeah. The Philosophy of Rick and Morty from Wisecrack. I think. Wonder why. People spend hours and hours on YouTube. It's very easy to just, pick a video and just follow the links that those videos lead off to, and that's going down the rabbit hole. So, yeah.
Kind of like you did last night, putting up those channels on.
I've done it various times. Oh, that's interesting. Apparently, someone's tracked down how Batman's first issue way back in 1939 was traced. It looks like an old Robin Hood thing.
Oh goodness, somebody did it.
What?
A woke video on The World Is Not Enough.
Oh dear God.
You just scrolled right past it.
Where are we?
Oh, it's
the woke.
it's
It's Rageaholic. It's the Razor Fist. It was from 9 months ago, so I may have already seen it, but we don't.
Ow, ow, ow.
We will check that out later.
Yeah.
We're still hoping for the time that Razor Fist shows up on one of the other, either Midnight's Edge or Nerdrotic or something, because
It'd be kind of fun to get him on PJ.
Geeks and Gamers, or at least
Yeah.
him and Jeremy be like that. I'd be in there right there with them too.
I still remember that video you cut while we were still in Florida.
Which one? Oh, huh?
The one where you did your little homage to Razor Fist.
That wasn't Florida. That was up here.
You sure about that?
As I was coming back, with the breakfast. Yeah.
No, this one.
No, I did that up here.
This one looks like you were in a car. Not
Yes, I was in the car. I had the phone with me. I was in the car and I pulled over. After I got whatever from McDonald's, and because I got the glasses up here on the way here. But yeah, I did that up here.
Mm.
In fact, let's see.
That looked like a car, not.
Yes, it was the car. It was the Explorer. And considering I did it, let's see, it was the Guardian Roast Picard, which. Yeah, that was just a month ago, dear.
Mm. And you were playing it as one of your old classics.
I just, not say classes, but just dragging up an old one, but older one. But it's something that was a month old. But let's see, anybody shut up yet that I should be concerned about? Not yet. LG Pickles was 8. Yep. All right. And also, if you note in the descriptions, yes, we also are trolling for launch money here because the fact of the matter is we are out of food and just about out of money here. So it's going to be real interesting trying to get anything going here. And the PayPal link is emphasized here, not the super chat. The super chat that's fine for a paycheck for YouTube, but that's not going to happen for a month.
Maybe if you're lucky.
Maybe if I'm really depending on when they break these. Oh, look at this. Let's see, where is AdSense? If they've totaled up okay. Crack that $100 limit. So in 2 weeks, I'll get a $104 check from or $100 direct deposit from that. But that doesn't do any good dinner tonight. That's part of the point where why we YouTubers do these live streams all the damn time and start saying, yes, please, if you like supporting the channel, click on the link below and something else. Like, and some people will get well, it's kind of like why, the channel starts becoming self-sufficient around 40,000 subscribers, because then you're getting enough repeat viewing, the ad revenue coming in, and you get pretty good, steady income coming from that, because you're hitting at least $100, earned income per month, at least, hopefully more than that, but at least it's consistent there, relatively consistent, and you're getting checks. At this level, however, water, by the way, we're a little low on sugar, so can't even do a proper tea. But at this level here, it's like, yeah, you're monetized, but God, I've been trying to get a check on a monthly basis. I think this will be maybe my third in the 2 years I've been doing this. So yeah, if you like the whinging and whining stuff, and the PayPal link is the best thing right there because it goes straight in. YouTube doesn't get a bite out of it. Patreon doesn't get a bite out of it. It's
Okay.
and it hits immediately, and I can charge right on down to the grocery store or Walmart, and we can get some dinner.
In the chat too.
Yep, there it is. Well, yeah, it's kind of an enticement to keep doing it, and it was once upon a time it wasn't long before I got 1,000, but then they changed the rules. Yep, there you go. There's your one check, dummy. It was helped along because that one video I did went a little viral. It was basically mostly quoting the Midnight's Edge video. So, but there we are, back. One thing about hotel Wi-Fi, it's as far as hotel Wi-Fi goes, this is one of the better ones I've experienced here. But okay, what?
He said he's broke, but he'll PayPal us $5 if we need to eat.
The link is right above you there. It's right up, It's right up about, let's see. Where's my hand? About there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And every little bit helps. Okay. $5 from you, $5 from somebody else, $2 from somebody else. And also, the thing about the PayPal is like, you got to do at least $2 for a super chat. And then you throw a little comment that usually is not much worth of anything. But in order to say anything, you got to do a 5, 10. It's a very clever scheme, especially for YouTube because they get like 30%. So, yeah, the link is in the chat right up there. It's also in the description below my wonderfully grizzled face. That and my Patreon link because I need more patrons, guys. I only got 2. And that amounts for about $20 a month. So, which ain't paying much of anything. And that's just a $1 a month level to start off with that one. So, out of 1,200 people, I figured just only is like a mere percentage point of those guys, and that would be enough to really keep us going a lot better. So yeah, spread it far and wider. And if you can't do it, spread them. Like, share, that stuff. Because you don't, somebody else might. That's usually the way it works. Just because you can't give anything, and I'm not begrudging anybody who can't. Because again, I'm a musician. I couldn't do squat right now. So because one thing, they always trying to browbeat you when you're doing telemarketing stuff. That they can always get something. No, sometimes they really can't. Okay. I was kind of irritated me because sometimes we really are broke. Okay, we can't give you $10. No, go away. That's kind of the thing of why I really hate sales. And by kind of irritated having to do these type of things here, but it happens. Let's look at the old mailbag here. See what's showing up.
Yeah, right now I'm just glad I'm just glad my husband didn't, do an army hammer.
What?
I told you about it.
What? There's a few stories floating around about that idiot.
Well, apparently he got desperate and decided to do his own hair. Gave himself a mohawk.
Oh, that. I've got enough experience in cutting my own hair that I know not to make a total hash of it. Because I pay attention when I'm sitting in the barber chair of how they go about doing it, and that the minutes to refine the techniques. Oh, there we go. Thank you, sir. So that's So that's $5 towards lunch. Okay.
Okay. And he's just asking that you promote his channel.
All right. Hey, well, let's see. Of course, they took out the go to channel thing. Let's go ahead and get that up here. Unfortunately, I have to go through a few more hoops now to do that. Typical YouTube, fixing what wasn't broken. Now, let's go ahead. Copy the link address. And there. Check out his channel. He's got a lot of, let's see. Well, you're doing a live stream yourself. Or what is this? Open IT support. Okay. Okay. Anyway, there you go. That's channel. Go support. All right. Well, there you go. It's online service up right there. So now, there's some folks starting to get a little irked at this of suddenly everyone their uncles showing up on the Clone Wars. That's just fan service. Well, frankly, what Star Wars needs right now is lots and lots of fan service because they have very few fans left to service. They need to regrow that fan base and do it fast because Disney ain't getting any richer right now. All right. Yep.
Is he actually doing all
Yeah. So yeah, he's got a live stream going right now.
Oh, okay.
If anybody's got, if you got IT problems or something, yeah. Guess you just pop in and see what's what. So yeah, if you know somebody who's having problems, they don't want to hear my complaining. Go to LDG Pixels. Yeah, Pixels. Yeah. All right. So if you got to ditch a way to help somebody out with their hard drive doing weird things, I understand. But yeah, they're dragging out. It's turned into the live action version of the Clone Wars. I guess one complaint. But again, is this such a bad thing? All right, let's see. Oh, the governor of Michigan has said that there are threats against her. All she did was lock up the entire population in house arrest for no good reason. Why would they feel threatened by that? Oh. Okay, and Rob Burnett has thing. Okay, we will not be seeing Rob Meyer Burnett because he can never jump on these in the morning because after the can't be a show, I still have to work. Okay, he's got actual work to do, stuff they're actually paying him for. Rob, in fact, I think I'll actually get on here. Let's get a response going here. Okay. So we're still waiting for a response from Justin Proper. Steph already tried, and that's not going to work. Gary Mecca, if she's awake, and she doesn't do this stuff anyway, but that's for just to say I asked. Robot Shlomo, everywhere you want to be, in some places you don't, but he doesn't, see if he ever answers his messages. Doomcock, you never know. He might be feeling generous. Mary Mayhem again, depending on what mood she's in.
What about
Rabbi Lebden, Tom Connors. I'll send him another one. Yeah. Whoops, wrong one. Well, thank you, Matt G. Now send him a link to LDG Pixels. Let's try that again. Actually, let me see. Hold on. Make sure I got him. Okay, just changed the name. Okay. I don't want to keep relying on PJ to keep showing up though, because that's you get a little tired of that. I think.
I know, but still, it doesn't hurt to send them the link.
And let's see. Shatner's doing his usual trolling things here. While I'm on Twitter, let's go ahead and scroll through here. The dodo is interesting. The real good, kind of very uplifting Vader's, not Vader, dog, animal stuff. Okay, Mark Hamill being weird. Let's get past some of this stuff. It's a good thing I'm not sharing this because I'd be booted off this thing right up. Okay. Oh, little baby platypus. And let's see, there was something here. No, there was a. Okay, Ron Jeremy being funky. Yeah. Yeah, exclusive. Ron Jeremy cast in season 2 of The Mandalorian is Baby Hedgehog. Okay.
Oh, dear God.
Moving on.
Is that somebody being a
Someone being a smartass here.
Whoa.
That is the new Bugatti ultra exclusive Devo. It's a personalization $5.4 million hypercar. Customized with family crest, custom paint jobs, grills, fine leather, and more. It's like, like you want a wet bar in the back? Fine. Might have room for a 6-pack, but still. Let's see. And come on, I know there's a post from Mecca, but who is this? Who is this? Somebody, and why am I blocked? Let's see. Whatever. Okay.
Yeah, I'm guessing you still haven't gotten a response from Kirstie Alley.
No. Robbie Williams begs me the next James Bond. Yeah, right. Sorry. Robbie, we're lucky if you do the next James Bond theme, okay? All right, there's going to be a special YouTube premiere screen of the... this Friday, May 15th, the YouTube Music premiere screening of the Freddie Mercury tribute concert in support of COVID-19 for WHO. Don't miss a chance to watch this 40 hours on.
I like Freddie.
That was a good concert. It had to go through a couple of hoops here and there to finally get that thing on. Okay, anything else to know about here? Okay, we'll click that out of the way. Okay, the best way to look at it is actual canon Star Trek is kind of in suspended animation at the moment. It's not dead. It's not as long as it's there and nothing's been shown to actually kill it off. It can be brought back, which is good writers, good producers, and a good cast. And it hasn't been killed. It's been put on ice. It's off to the side. In fact, they'll drag up that. Let me drag up that diagram again. One of the proudest moments of my YouTube career. Yeah, that could be it. Yep, there we are. let's get on here. Get on the other one here. No, it all it takes is some producer saying, going to whoever winds up with the rights at this point, and saying, I want to do it, and I want to do it in that universe. So let's go for a bit here, and then shift over to here. All right, and here's where I also, frankly, need something else on this thing so I can see what's actually going on screen. But what you should be seeing is my wonderful little diagram that I did way back when of how, this is kind of determining what the rights were. And this is kind of when I hit on the conclusion that, they're talking about Prime Universe this and Prime Universe that. And it's like, I and a lot of people started hitting think, Prime does not mean canon. Prime is JJ's universe, okay? Yes, it's Prime. It's Prime. Yeah, okay. Well, Prime is down here. Okay, let me try this. There we go. Yeah, there we go. This is where the JJ and Discovery and Picard and and nothing. I think I did a more elaborate one somewhere. Somebody did where the timeline they showed. Where you got Discovery and then you got Picard down here, and God knows what's in between because it ain't this. But you got so it's originally the divide between the actual Star Trek that we know and love, and then the other crap that was changed. Like the old mythical number is 25%. And pretty much figured that wasn't so much mandatory as just for licensing purposes. That if you want a piece of this, it's got to be at least 25% different. Otherwise, CBS gets all the dough. And so this is the bad reboot area down here. This is the actual stuff. This stuff is still fine. You can it would take very little actually if Seth really wanted to do this to change Orville into a full-fledged Star Trek show. It really just uniforms, badges, some nomenclature, and the biggest change would be the appearance of the ship. Unless you would just go, I don't know, say the Starfleet decided to go with more Vulcan type warp drive, and that's where you got the loops. But you just have to change the back half of the ship to put nacelles instead of those loops, and you could fit. Because in the timeline where the year they said it is like just shortly, it's about the same timeline as Picard, as far as what year, the relative year they take place in. So it really would not take much to change, and become Star Trek Orville. It wouldn't just be a joke. Okay, the problem with the licensing is there's a time limit. They've kind of got dibs on doing anything Star Trek for a certain set period of time. You say about 5 years or so, but that's kind of why I, as part of one of the slides in that whole sequence, I have like do not open until 2020. I mean that's supposed to when the deal ended with Bad Robot. The problem is apparently that deal also carries over to Secret Hideout. So as long as they're still involved, there's the countdown is on hold to when this finally breaks loose and they can do what the hell they want. And that's also why there's nothing being greenlit at Paramount, because if they try to approve anything at Paramount, Bad Robot can nope, sorry, maybe, because most of the smart money says that deal has expired. So Paramount should be perfectly free to do whatever the hell they want with Star Trek. But I think part of the deal probably always carries over to Secret Hideout, where they now have dibs on doing any movies. So until their deal expires, and you got to let that lay fallow for a few years, we're not going to get actual canon Star Trek for a while. That's all going to be this Bad Robot shit.
And boy, is it shit.
Yeah, it's just, However, if you watch the Midnight's Edge video on this, where Andre, because he works in finance, he knows this stuff a little better than any of us. So he played out not really what even rumors. It's just most likely scenario given the players involved and the amount of money involved here. His most likely scenario is probably Netflix swooping in and doing a deal similar to like when Disney bought out assets of Fox. They didn't buy Fox. They bought big chunks of Fox. They bought the 20th Century Fox studio and the film library and the properties attached to it. That's how they got Marvel.
Did they buy Fox News?
No, they did not buy Fox News.
Okay, so
Fox News and Fox Sports and the Fox networks, those are still held by Rupert Murdoch and News Corp.
Okay.
So yes, Fox still exists as a separate entity. They're just not in the movie business anymore. Oh God, no, it doesn't work at all. Their version of warp drive is more like hyperdrive, hyperspace, because again, JJ made no bones about the fact he was always a Star Wars fan because Star Trek, and this is a direct quote, was always too talky. That's called writing and drama, you nitwit. 40 and Barber, welcome to the show. Okay, but it's like, what the hell? You think? It'd be fun to invite Mayim Bialik, but I don't have a link to her. That could be real fun. Okay, but yeah, until all the deals are cleared, or actually, part of the thing with Netflix, if they do a similar deal where they buy out chunks of like, say, what they would probably is buy the Paramount half of the house. So they would get their production facilities, the Paramount Studios, and the back catalog in the library, which would presumably now at this point include Star Trek. Just whole, But under those circumstances, that contract with Secret Hideout and Bad Robot was like, no, your contract was with them, not with us. You're out. In which case, the next phone call will be, yo, Ron, baby, come on. How's that going to make Star Trek again?
Or more.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Yeah, I'd get the band together. It's like, get Ron Moore, get David Joe, get anybody connected with with proper Star Trek. Maybe even Brian Fuller, even though again, a good authority, he was no friend to the franchise in that respect. He's not a big respecter of canon. So like a lot of the stuff in Discovery was laid by Brian Fuller. So don't think he was going to be the big savior here. Like, for instance, the Starfleet badges, everyone's got the Enterprise. He was always of the opinion that everybody had that badge. And he would probably cite that same Bob Justman memo from 1968, where he's pitching a fit about how, the crew of, the Exeter had different insignia. And it's like, Bob, didn't you notice on the Doomsday Machine that Billy Wyndham was wearing a different insignia too? It's one of those things where it's not so much a canon, it's a production issue. When they had the money to come up with a different insignia, they came up with a different insignia. Because we look on, the two guys from the Antares, they had totally different insignia when they came on board. In fact, they even had older shirts. So I think it probably fit that into the back history of the show. If you still got pilot era uniforms are being phased out. That happens. Nobody just changes all at once. There's a period where you can still wear the old uniforms when the new ones take over. And eventually, at a certain point where they figure there's only like 3 or 4 guys on Starbase 6 that are wearing this thing, they can find, okay, that's enough. Getting the new stuff. But the captain and first officer of the Antares had different insignia. Anybody from Starfleet Command had that Starburst pin on there. Hansen on that outpost in Balance of Terror before it got vaporized. He had a weird little fish-looking insignia there. So it was always intended that they'd have different insignia. And the insignia depended on showed where you were assigned. And that's typical military thing. Typical military uniforms. You got patches all over the damn place. So, an army officer in his dress uniform, you can read his entire career by the pins and patches on the thing. Because one patch on one shoulder is his current unit. Patch on the other shoulder is his previous unit. And all the ribbons, you can tell what campaigns he's been in, what he's been wounded or not, and what deployments he's been on. So Well, JJ, he does it for it's for the ADHD crowd that can't pay attention. You know, they're like Metco said, they're the ones that are looking down at their phone. Oh, boom! What happened? Okay, they can't pay attention to stuff like plot. You know, this is boring. They're just talking. You know, that's There's one time. There was one time at dinner at my mom's, and we had the people. You know, they were staying there, and I just found saying, what the hell did we do before they came up with this? You know, for Ritalin. You know, if you had some kid that apparently, what the hell did you do with a kid that just couldn't pay attention? You just generally smack the crap out and make them, no, pay attention. You force them to work it out. You know, you didn't drug them to the gills so it'd be manageable. You know. Oh, Star Wars is a whole nother can of worms on that one. That was a disaster waiting to happen anyway. Now we'll get to that, but we keep with Star Trek. Tom, welcome, Tom.
Hey, how's it going?
And, all right, there we go. All right.
Hi,
So yeah, finally decided to
Hello.
show up for one of these.
I got a few minutes. I figured I'd stop in.
All right, yeah, what the hell? You know, it's mainly trolling for lunch money at this point, but you know, we got into the thing about the shit show that is Star Trek these days, and what we're gonna have to suffer through until it finally gets clear of all the bad robot and secret hideout moorings, and they can finally do it on their own. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So other than that, how you guys doing?
Well, things were down about $12 there. actually, make that 17. Actually, no, wait, well, no, it's $12 in the bank.
Yeah, which we're kind of saving for gas.
Well, no, we got gas. Still got 3/4 of a tank of gas, but
either way.
But no, I'm more concerned about food right now because the hotel's paid up to the 21st. So, but just do a little dog and pony show, entertain the troops. But yeah, like the scenario that Andre laid out is like, I think it's a good likelihood if it does happen, that's going to delay down, like Netflix buying out just Paramount and the chunks of that and leaving CBS alone. And at that point, it's like Kurtzman and Abrams trying, hey, we have a contract. Not with us, you don't. That was Moonves. Take it up with him. Get out of here. At which point, then it's like calling Ron Moore and Ira Bear and getting the band back together and say, please save this property.
Yeah, you got a lot of complications there. I've pretty much lost all hope in Star Trek at this point.
Yeah. In the short term, yeah, it's just it's a waiting game at this point. That's what I'm trying. There's a question earlier though about Berman Trek is dead. It's like, not dragged up that old old diagrams. No, Berman's not. Original Trek is not dead. It's just on stasis right now, on the other side of the barrier. We're stuck down here with the bad reboot stuff. The other stuff's up there, we can't get at it. But it's not dead. It just needs someone who knows what they're doing to get a hold of it and bring it back.
Yeah, and I don't know. They may have lost so much fan base that.
Well, it'll go back to us hardcore. So it'll be like a return to the 70s, most part. Unless they hit another hit, and it's like, oh my God, you got to go see this show or see this movie, But that is it's gonna be like what they're doing with Mandalorian right now. They got to do a lot of fan service to just hold on to the fans they've got and start bringing some of them old ones back.
Shoot, darn it!
I'm thinking we got a delay here.
Well, that and I'm answering a message right now. Sorry.
Oh, okay, yeah, right.
Yeah. As far as Star Trek goes, I mean, I don't know anybody who could fix it right now, if it's even fixable. As far as it being sold off, that's always plausible. Would they get as much as it's worth or should be worth? No.
No, the value has definitely been chopped in half, I think.
Yeah,
It's
they've killed
chopped
all the
down quite a bit.
merchandising and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been pretty much killed
Yeah.
and flogged, and then some.
I was waiting for the final chapter of Star Trek Discovery, and it'll be interesting if the producers of Andromeda come back and say, "Hey, you stole our storyline." In which case, you have one Gene Roddenberry production suing another, more or less.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you think
And
they'd
now I
actually
see your
even
frustration
bother?
with Rob. I don't know. It depends on if they, think they got one of them. Again, like Gary says, the guy has priors. Okay, has he had an actual original idea that hasn't been done? Wait a minute, they did that over here on this show. Or this looks a lot like this video game that was hot a couple of years ago.
Right.
But
Well,
the whole thing is like, and I'll bet you the justification will be because Robert Hewitt Wolf originally proposed a Fall of the Federation show that would have been about 1,000 years after the Federation's fallen, and you got a team on a ship to try to rebuild the Federation. And it's like, hey, see, it's been a proposed Star Trek show before, so we can do it. So that'll be the excuse if they ever push that far.
Right.
But that's what eventually became Andromeda because they have these. Well, we can't do it with Star Trek. They don't want to go that far. But we have these other things that Majel found in the trash can.
Remember that Star Trek parody we found today?
Oh yeah, there's a one channel Max's Models, and he's got from about 9 years ago a parody thing of if Star Trek was made in the Soviet Union. Red Star Trek.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just beat to hell, and normally now is my nap time.
Yeah, well, you were up late. So.
I'm always up. I don't even know what sleep is halftime.
Oh, and Justin Proper has arrived. Where the hell's my burger?
Justin Nick Proper.
Is that why the
Where's
first
my
message?
quarter pounder? Damn it!
What's going on, guys?
Did you ever have an explanation for what was going on there?
Oh, yeah, I could give you a quick explanation if Tom hasn't explained it already.
I don't know if you know it.
If I know, I mean,
Yeah.
I would hope I knew.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tom, did you already explain what happened?
No.
Oh, okay. Give me just a second. I'm gonna hook up my actual microphone because I'm at my desk.
Well, again, I don't need to explain. I was in on it. Where do you think that order came from? Yeah, that was all Jeremy. We were there, everyone flood his thing with the orders. Come on.
Yeah, I know. What a dick. I love him though, but I mean Tom's reaction to that Ronald Justin McProper meme was just that killed me. Genuinely on that stream, I could not. It felt like I was listening to a 1930s radio, and it's like without the subtitles, you don't have a damn clue what anybody's saying. It just flickers, and it's the sparks and the flashes in the audio. I'm describing everything visually, but that's just how it sound auditorially. And StreamYard sucks.
London.
It was like, and then at one point, Tom was saying like, "What? How? What are you doing?" I just heard, "Are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm doing." Yeah, and he's like, "I just heard, are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I'm doing fine. How are you?"
He's had lots of practice dealing with Rob and his pre-Columbian Wi-Fi. So,
Perhaps, yeah. Tom, how you doing?
Oh, I'm tired. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm okay. I'm wide awake. This is like morning for me.
Well, I've been up for the last few hours at least.
Well, we got a gigantic audience of 6 people right now. So,
woo,
pressure. Yeah.
So I watched The Cage.
Okay. And
I hated it.
well, don't get too invested. That was just the first try. And then,
oh, I know, and I think I've told you guys before. I think I don't think it was on Doomcock stream, but it was somewhere. I was like, I don't know about releasing this review that I have in the bag because it's going to piss a lot of people off, possibly.
Well, yeah, that's why my general advised starting point is the Corbomite maneuver.
Right.
Starting where they actually, this is now regular production stuff. They've got it figured out for the most part. And frankly, that episode's still one of the best of the entire franchise because it's got the complete package. They're out there, they're exploring their content. And one of the observations I heard from Richard Arnold, I think, was why they didn't go with it is because nobody died.
Oh,
1960s TV, somebody's got to, get whacked at least, And why they went with the man trap because somebody actually died in that one. So, but real reason is it's real effects heavy. And whereas man trap is somebody running around in a suit and really you don't even see the creature like the last 5 minutes.
Interesting.
Yeah. Because they really didn't have very many ready to go episodes by September. Well, we can do the Naked Time, but that kind of requires the characters. We can do Mud's Women. That's kind of chintzy, and Charlie X is like a teen angst. No, we're not going to start a show with that. So, what do you got left? Man Trap. Okay, you got a planet set. You got an alien creature killing people. Great, go with that.
Yeah, well, that second episode, I'm going by the Netflix order. I'm at the mercy of that. I know it's not like the correct order, but I'm going by that just to make it easy on myself.
Let's see. What are they doing? Air date or what?
Probably by production date or something.
I would hope
production date, like with The Cage, and then the rest I think is air date.
Yeah, let me see what we got. Netflix. Well, stop scrolling. Just do a search. Let's see. And across the name. Yeah. All right. There we go. Well, I'm already. Hold on. No, get out of that. Okay. They're doing air date. There's Nimrods are doing air. There's nothing sacred about air date. Air date was just what episodes were available at a given time. I don't know why everyone's got some fixation with doing air date. Because you don't see the show progress any with air date. It's just like what was available, throw it on the air. And besides air date, what do you do when you hit reruns?
Okay, I hope you don't mind, but I went ahead and tweeted that link to Manu.
Okay, Manu will be fun. We might get Manu at whatever how you pronounce the last name. It's Rami, yeah. Icheb. Okay. Yeah, best thing is forget the order that Netflix has got this thing in. Okay, because you got the second pilot airing third, for God's sake,
Oh geez. Well, it's going to be a very interesting run with the Netflix order.
Yeah. That's why the critical response was kind of mixed back in the day because it's like
I think they're on the discs in the same order too.
Yeah, I know, and it annoys the hell out of me too. Because that's one thing, and because I did it with the first issue of the Concordance, but I've been talking to Bijo about this thing. No, I don't do production order, and she agreed. It should be production order.
Okay.
Yeah, list the air date, but as far as listing in the book, it's going to be by production order, which made it real fun also for the animated series.
There's an animated. Oh my god! There's way too much. Way too much to watch.
22 half-hour episodes. It was in the mid-70s, and thing is, George Takei is running for city council at the time, and the equal time laws, at least in the eyes of the FCC, dictated that you couldn't be running these Star Trek episodes of Sulu on them, but it counts as advertising. It's like, what? But they changed the air dates for the LA area for the animateds. So there's 2 different air dates on some episodes. But that's another. It's just that one. I just go by the production number because also they made a lot of those things simultaneously. They'd be
that's something for. I feel like is that something for if you're more into it. If you're more into the series, you don't just take it at the face value that's given to you. You don't just go by the air date that this is provided to you. You kind of go based off of how you research and how it makes more sense to the story. I guess
Well,
is it like more chronological?
Well, again, this is still everything's very episodic, so you don't have any
Right.
really continuing. Once in a there's like 2 or 3 times where during the course of the series that refer back to a previous episode.
Okay.
Maybe 2 or 3. I mean, I know one for sure is when by any other name, Kirk makes
For the most part, TOS is very episodic.
Pretty much, yeah. Even Next Generation for the most part, they didn't start doing story arcs really until DS9, where they started doing the Dominion War, and that's well into the game. So, but television in general was because the idea was eventually the goal was to get enough series in the can, you sell it to syndication. At that point, you're no longer splitting money with the network. Now you're getting all the money back, and the idea was that you could run them in any order you wanted.
Yeah.
That's the way TV was back then. It's always a market of what do you do with the show once it's finished. Back then it was syndication. Now it's home video for the most part. Because now it's like how many episodes do you need for a decent home video package, and that's why I see some series getting pull the plug on them at it's like 10 seasons. Because beyond that, who's going to buy? Gunsmoke is a pain in the butt, I think, for marketing video wise. Because who wants to buy 17 season sets?
Right, and it's just
imagine the size of the box set for that son of a bitch.
Right, and it's just I think you make a good point when you're talking about some of these longer series. Some of them are older, like Gunsmoke, as you said. I don't know how long did Little House on the Prairie run for. I mean, God,
it ran for a while,
12 years or something like that.
But
and like.
Well, even syndication market, there was you couldn't syndicate Gunsmoke back then because then it's a matter of I think the first few episodes, first few seasons were black and white, and then they went to color. So I think you had to break it into that thing. Okay, well, you want the black and white episodes, you want the color, you want the whole thing. It's like,
right. I mean, there's just so many different sets and so many different iterations of the show. I'm sure the cast varied differently. I don't know. Were there like a few like constants who were there for all 17 years?
Well, with Gunsmoke and
showed up.
Oh, well, he's on there, yeah, but
yeah, he's on the chat.
But with Gunsmoke, the only real change was Chester leaving and Festus coming in.
Okay, so all right.
And Chester was like the black and white. It was Dennis Weaver during the black and white.
Gunsmoke. Yeah. 1955 to 1975. Oh wait, part of it was a radio show. Okay. All right. So the television series was like for 20 years. Wow.
But they realized when they're going to TV, no, sorry, Bill, you're not going to fit anybody's image of Matt Dillon. Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah, booming baritone is great, but no, it's all right. Anybody's, just look up episodes of Canon. That's Bill Conrad. Okay. So they wanted to get John Wayne for it, but he didn't want to get tied down to a TV series. But it was his recommendation. I think they got James Arness.
Again, I have no idea what you're talking about. I've never seen Gunsmoke, but I've heard it's a great Western series.
It's a classic Western series. You should check it out. Check out a few of them. There's no any particular, just any old thing. You might get one or two of them where it's like let's get Festus all by himself with a crazy guy in the desert. You never barely seen anybody else. Pick something in Dodge City where you got all the cast.
Yeah.
James Arness was a big guy. He towered over John Wayne and John.
Oh, this went on for 20 seasons. Wow. Talk about a commitment. I'm not even really wanting to watch Frasier because I feel like I have to. Well, I have to watch Cheers, but they're both equally as long. Cheers a little longer, but I'm like, wow, that is a commitment.
Meh, kind of, sort of.
I mean, you don't have to watch Cheers to watch Frasier.
Not really, no. I mean.
There we go.
So. Okay. I don't really recall anything. I never really got into Frasier all that much. So, and on Cheers, he was just kind of a foil all the time to like various women. And then I don't know if any of his girlfriends or anything like that carried over into Frasier or not. I'm trying to remember.
Well, he had divorced Lilith by the time he got.
I was going to say, I think that was kind of the setup for the show, wasn't it?
Kind of like, Lilith got Frederick, and Frasier went back to Seattle. He was originally going to be Denver, but we had passed Amendment 2 at that point. With
right. Yes. I mean, overall, not really, but I mean, I'm sure just for Cheers was a great show, though, just in general. So,
well, there's one.
For taking place. Correct me if I'm wrong. Pretty much took place in one set
for the most part. Yeah.
Mostly the bar. Yeah. There's one. There's one good, classical bit for Cheers. Rebecca and Sam are trying to have a baby. She does a test. She's as fertile as an Iowa cornfield, so the trouble must be with Sam. So he goes to get his sperm count tested, and he comes back and it's in a manila envelope. He refuses to look at it. Meanwhile, Frasier and Lilith wanted to do a prenup or get his will nailed down. He didn't want to deal with it because it's a will, but eventually he does. He comes back, manila envelope, and eventually, all right, fine, and grab an envelope, and then at the very end, it shows him like 30 years later, Mrs. Crane, I'm sorry for your loss here. And there's young adult Frederick. All right, let's take a look at Dr. Crane's will. Yep. Sam Malone's sperm count is normal. That damn bar. Just cut.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, see it, but it's like, but she just did that damn bar.
No, but yeah, for the most part, though, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, was it one of those shows that was like a sitcom and had a laugh track and all that shit?
No, it was a live audience.
No, I mean that's kind of what I meant. Like, live
audience. It was the
laugh
meant. Track show, but that was all the comedies back then.
Oh no, I understand. I understand that, but I'm just like I won't be surprised when I forgot what the guy's name is. Whoever plays the piggy bank in Toy Story,
Norm.
John. No, not Norm.
Oh, not Norm. You're talking about Cliff.
I can't.
John Ratzenberger, yeah.
Ratzenberger, right. I couldn't remember his last name. Like, if he comes on the show and everyone's like, yay! I'm like, why is everyone, clapping so much for this guy? Something like that. That kind of thing, like, you would have to, have watched at least a few episodes of Cheers to, get why the audience...
Sort of. They started doing that kind of shit from the start, but they do that on purpose.
Yeah. As far as, Norm, that was just...
Yeah.
Actually, the character of Morin on DS9 was an homage to Norm on Cheers.
But you get used to just like every other sitcom of the time, as soon as whoever your standard players would come into the, like George Wendt would walk in and the audience would clap, and John Ratzenberger walk in, the audience would clap, that kind of thing. Same thing with, but they would do that on purpose, just to.
Yeah, I mean, nostalgia, or were they actually like an important part of the particular plot, or were they just walk on cameos for fun?
Well,
Cliff and Norm were kind of like they were generally the catalyst for a lot of fucking plot.
Oh God, yeah.
For Frasier?
No, for the show Cheers. And Frasier.
I was talking about Frasier when like the Cheers cast would come on, and then the audience would be like, "Hooray!"
Oh yeah, sure. But I'm trying to remember how many times that actually happened. I don't even remember.
Usually they're already on stage, but you don't see many people.
No, he's talking about cameos. He's talking about cameo appearances on Frasier from classic cast members. I'm trying to remember. I don't even know if there really was that many.
They did a few, and actually they kind of addressed a few continuity problems that between Frasier and Cheers. And the very clever way to do it, because in Cheers, Frasier talks about his dad in the past tense, like he's dead, and says he was a psychologist, so that's why he became a psychologist. Whereas Sam shows up on Cheers, on Frasier, and he meets Frasier's dad. And he's like, I thought you said your dad was dead. You told him I was dead? Well, we were fighting, so I didn't want to deal with it. I thought he was a psychologist. You told me I was well, we were dead. What difference does it make if you're a cop or a psychologist? Something.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. And so, yes,
even
a sitcom can deal with a continuity issue in a clever way. So what's the problem with these Doctor Who and Star Wars writers? Can't be bothered with canon,
That's a good point.
Yeah. They were doing an entertaining way with, on Cheers, but what the hell?
I'm distracted. Sorry, I'm trying to deal with setting up a... basically, this would be the first place anybody's talked about it yet.
Mm-hmm.
we're thinking about doing a High Council UK edition. I mean, right now it's just going to be a one-time thing, but we'll see how it goes from there.
Yeah.
But, be like Andre, Critical Drinker.
Yeah, because it is currently 5:40 in the evening. And
no, it would be next. Yeah. We're looking at next Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Probably about. It'll be in the morning, like 10 o'clock Central Time ish, is what I'm thinking. But it'll be for the UK guys to finally get on the High Council kind of thing. And
okay, so I'm going to address here. Star Trek. Star Trek was always filmed in color because NBC was the all-color network. That's why you had the bright primary colors and everything. So if you're watching black and white, it's because your TV is probably black and white, okay? Or somebody got a black and white print. But no, the Star Trek was never broadcast in color. I never broadcast in black and white. The closest it got was the black and white work print of the cage that Roddenberry held on to. He would trot that around and show it at his lectures. But Star Trek was always in full color. That was part of the selling point. That's why NBC, one of the reasons NBC got it, because it was a full color show to show. And RCA owned NBC. They went to sell color TV sets. So, and it worked.
It's kind of interesting. It's like, that would be amazing, if I was more of a Star Trek fan.
Mm-hmm.
If I was more of a Trekkie, I would be fascinated to go to one of Gene Roddenberry's lectures. Much like, and I've heard that he's done this a few times, not very often, but it's kind of like if George Lucas had college lectures like that. That would be so fascinating just to hear him talk about, things that he's talked about in interviews, but to be able to see it in person, have a Q&A, that would be so fascinating. Maybe like afterwards, the students could walk up and maybe take a picture or ask him a question or something like that. I mean, that'd be so fascinating. And to be able to have intellectual conversations, that'd be great, that accessibility.
Well, I'll tell you what, there was a Columbia record, Columbia Records put out an album in 76, Inside Star Trek, where it's essentially his lectures interspersed with the talk with William Shatner and D. Kelly and Isaac Asimov. And he did a real good little interview with the ambassador, but Spock, how he was conceived in the first place, his upbringing and stuff, and what it all means, and Udic and a whole bunch of stuff. And it's really kind of, I don't know what's going on here.
You're cutting in and out a little bit.
Yeah, we lost you.
But the that album is on you. Someone did an audio thing on YouTube. I've done several.
Okay.
Let's try the camera off. Let's try that for a second. But
okay.
That didn't work at all.
So no, that didn't work whatsoever. The opposite effect, actually. And what's great about StreamYards, it doesn't have an 8-hour cap. It goes on forever.
Oh, they changed that now? I thought it only had like a 12-hour or something like that.
Well, it's like 20 hours. It's
really?
however long you want it. It's forever. Unless I don't think there's a 12-hour. Even maybe if you don't pay. And now he's gone. And now we have taken over the stream. Yes, featuring Tom Connors and Justin Proper.
Mick Proper.
The Vegas crew. Hey!
Okay, PJ's in.
oh, okay, well, you need to.
He's on the chat.
Maybe
All right, Robert, you're back.
He was.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, the album is on. It's on YouTube in a couple of pieces. Where they do side one and side two different videos. It's also in a slightly expanded version on CD.
Oh, go ahead.
Where he elaborates a little bit more. Like we almost sold Genesis 2 CBS, or as it was ABC. That week, CBS had just run the Planet of the Apes movie on their Sunday movie. And so they came to G1, can you add some kind of an ape thing? Because that's sci-fi now, it's apes. okay. And so Gene kind of rattled off the thing. Okay, how about this? I got an idea. How about friend? We'll have a dog man run around with him, and then we can also do something with a dolphin. But then he realized these guys are taking him seriously. So okay, he just pulled the plug on the whole thing right then and there.
I got about half that, if that.
And then he left.
Again.
See, this is what you guys sounded like to me over the phone a couple days ago. Kind of like that. Like I just got enough to be able to barely decipher. Like I had to guess what you guys were saying.
I was just fucking with you more than anything.
Yeah. How? Like, what the fuck are you doing? That was great. I love that.
Now everybody thinks you work at McDonald's.
That's all Krista's fault. I couldn't even hear what she
that's
said.
not just her fault. That's between Jeremy and I. But yeah.
No.
She didn't help. Well, actually, maybe she did say McDonald's. Yeah, between the three of us anyway. Yeah, we were all like, he doesn't work at no warehouse. He's working at McDonald's.
I know. And I'm just like, I had to look back at the stream and be like, who said this first? I was like, damn it, Krista. Why?
Yeah. And then now you're Justin McProper.
Every little thing that she says, it just becomes a big meme. And I'm like, I don't get it. Why?
And now you're Justin McProper.
No, I reject this hypothesis.
You can't reject this hypothesis. It's happening.
People are still asking me for orders, like in comments.
Because they were demanded
your profile picture.
There he is.
All
right.
Thanks for the invite.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you're back.
Robert, you're having some major issues here.
Okay, let's try that one.
Oh, it happens. No worries. I don't know why you sent me a link, but I appreciate it. Probably just to ask me for my order.
Where's my McShake? McShake that ass and give me that McShake right now, McJustin McProper.
You may as well just be McShaking your ass back to the car and drive the fuck home, because we don't serve your kind here.
Oh, that's racist. Okay, let's see how this works out.
Good.
No, I was half expecting you to change your profile picture to that Ronald McDonald mashup at some point.
Oh, oops. You'll figure it out.
Yeah, usually there's a much more reliable connection here. I don't know what's going on today, but yeah.
I think it's your South Park avatar. That's the key to all of this.
Mm-hmm. Yes, there's some app, I don't know, about 100 years ago, do this where you modify, a South Park character. There we go. Yeah, and I'll copy and paste in a little insignia and do some sweet lines on the sleeve and there. Okay, let's look on here. Well, yeah, long before the COVID stuff. COVID's just the past couple of months for me. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. This was John Wayne stunt double. Didn't know that. But James Arnett was John Wayne stunt double at some point. Okay, we are back here. So let's see. Well, I wouldn't say back in the dial-up era because Rob hadn't shown up yet. So then we'll be in the back of the dial-up era.
Oh yeah, his connection is beautiful. As I've heard.
Yeah, there's been a few times the old dial-up noises have been invoked. Mom, get off the phone.
I remember that being a big deal when I was a kid, but after that, never really understood it. Kind of like I never understood how flushing a toilet while someone was taking a shower would make the water hot or something stupid like that. I never understood that.
Well, that's a matter of pressure, but okay, I got the same question Mech as. Who the fuck is Scott Ackerman and why am I blocked? Because I'm blocked too.
Scott who?
Ackerman, Aukerman.
Aukerman.
Aukerman. Ackerman.
I thought I said. I guess I didn't.
Again, I have no clue who this guy is either. So why the hell am I blocked?
I'm blocked.
Hmm.
Who the fuck is this guy?
I don't know.
I don't like his face though. For whatever reason, his face just.
Let's look at the thread here.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
his Twitter avatar is just awful. Well, I'm gonna block him back then. Fuck this guy.
Let's see. He's blocked. That was that. Matt Vader's been blocked. DJ Odyssey. Oh, here we are. DJ Odyssey has not been blocked, so here we are. Co-host of Comedy Bang Bang, co-host of Are You Talking REM, co-creator and director of Between Two Ferns, co-founded Earwolf. Okay.
And who cares?
He's followed by Jack Black, so the rally, yeah, whatever. There's a production weenie, really.
Okay. It's the guy I'm looking at. Apparently, I'm not blocked.
All right. Can you figure out what's going on with it? Yeah. I think it's sort of a mass blocking of anybody Phantom Menace related or something.
Oh, it looks like a prick.
Yeah. One of these, so far, comedy writer types that thinks he's better than anybody else. So, yeah.
Oh, he's a writer.
Yeah. All right. So let's get back to this here.
So he just writes internet stuff.
Yeah, I was with what was it, Funny or Die with him, or Comedy Bang Bang, yeah.
Comedy Bang Bang.
Which I rather enjoyed, frankly. Yeah.
He was in Gold member for a second.
Ooh, that's
interesting.
Right in front of you.
Oh no, I mean he was in there for a second, Yeah. But he could still be like, "Oh, is it an Austin Powers movie? Look how cool I am."
I know Jack Black. I know
his fucking Wikipedia page is just ridiculous. Like just the profile picture on there. Oh my goodness.
Whoops. Didn't move down here. Okay, and
yeah, his Twitter avatar just speaks like, "Oh my goodness, like what a douchebag I am." Yeah. Like that's what it screams. It screams douchebag. I don't know why. It just does. Maybe it's because I'm blocked that I'm saying this, but but I mean, like, I don't even. He's a blue check mark, so fuck him. Wouldn't it be hilarious if one of us got a blue check mark, just out of nowhere? Like, I don't know what that would say about us, but I don't know. I think it'd be funny. Tom, what would you do if you just got a blue check mark?
Go mad crazy with power, I meant to say.
You know what I would do? I would probably I would temporarily go back as proper Jeremy and just do that trolling thing for like a day. It'd be funnier because it's a blue check mark.
Yeah.
Pretend to be an SJW. Yeah. I remember earlier on when I first started that account, I was like, I really hope I get verified on Twitter before Jeremy does. That would be amazing.
I don't think he wants to be, does he?
No, of course not.
No.
There's a whole process involved.
Take your blue check mark and shove it up your ass.
Ethan might be able to tell you what that's like, but I mean, I don't really care to. I don't know.
Yeah, let's see. All right, not a pro STD person. No, I'm not against sexually transmitted diseases at all. No, I'm very anti gonorrhea. No. Okay.
I'm going to get going here in a second, but thank you for the invite. I appreciate that. Tom, good seeing you again. Hail to the chat. I cannot wait to show you guys my reaction to the cage. I'm still really hesitant because I was not very nice to it. So, but then again, it's my first.
I'm more worried about Deliverance.
Yeah.
Oh God, people are still talking about that. People really want me to watch that for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, let's just say Ned Beatty.
It's a damn good movie. That's why.
Ned Beatty was traumatized for years after that movie. Okay,
just after watching it or being
after being in it, there's
watch it.
Yeah, there's no way to.
No spoilers. I don't know anything about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you gonna do this?
Okay.
What do we got?
When are you gonna do this? Tomorrow? Next week?
Okay.
I have tomorrow, Friday, Saturday off. I guess what should I do? Should I make a regular video on it? Should I just point a camera?
Announce it, live stream it, and live stream a watch party, and we'll hang out with you. A couple of us will
try to explain what you're watching.
All right.
A few things to know about the cage.
Like watching movies, like for the first time for a watch party.
We'll be quiet. Well, that or at least film yourself reacting to it, and then afterwards we'll have like a thing, and then you can just show us the highlights, I guess.
There's a few things about the cage you probably should know, though. Nothing spoiler-wise, but it's they deliberately chose that one because of the scripts they submitted. That one they figured was the most difficult to produce. So the idea being that if they can pull this one off, then okay, they got to start doing this on a weekly basis. But also, NBC was carrying a grudge with Gene Roddenberry because he had a series with him about a couple years earlier called The Lieutenant. You might have heard of. It was set about a lieutenant in the Marine Corps, and he had one episode. It's called To Set It Right, where he had it was Dennis Hopper was one of the guest stars, and they had about a racist in the Marine Corps and having to deal with a black Marine who they had known years earlier going at it. The Marines.
I got real quick. Okay. I got to get running. Have a great stream, man. Thank you for inviting me, Tom. Nice talking to you again. I cannot wait to watch Deliverance and show you guys my reaction to the cage.
Roddenberry made NBC look very bad with that episode, so they carried a grudge on that. So yeah,
fair enough.
Care, Justin.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think you got Galifianakis spelled right there. So.
Yeah, I got like 5 more minutes here for that.
Oh, okay. And so far, I've gotten $5 my PayPal, and I think another $1.99 and yeah, $1 and a super chat. Okay. Was there a sticker with that or?
No, it was just.
Excuse me. Yeah, just a $1 super chat. Yeah, I might actually get a check this month from YouTube because it's finally crossed that $100 mark.
Yeah, I know how that feels.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, we're about 2 weeks too late for what we need there. That's why I'm kind of going on here. It's like, hello,
Yeah.
I mean, to a certain extent, this is kind of the online equivalent of standing on the side of the road with the sign that says "Why lie? I need a beer." But
Yeah.
Well, what else is going on in the world of fandom and pop culture that we need to whine about? I know they've delayed New Mutants to August, but they're streaming that anyway, so who cares? So.
We'll see. Yeah, that's about the size of it. Nothing too stupendous going on at the moment, other than just work.
Mm-hmm.
So
they're gonna they terming the upcoming season of Mandalorian at the Star Wars Apology Tour. Yeah.
Oh, in other news,
Oh, Steph's got something.
I'm looking less and less like I got jumped on by MS.
Yeah, the eye infection is well under control there. So, so the likelihood of me being charged with spousal abuse is going down.
well,
No, I figure, I was afraid, that I have no problem throwing the cameos. They need all the fan service they can get on the Star Wars side.
Yeah.
They're probably the advantage of the fact that they're still in active production on something, so they can react better to this. Whereas Star Trek is like, well, okay, we are not going to see Discovery for September, maybe.
Yeah.
If we're
unlucky, yeah. Like they'll be like, that's still on the air.
Yeah. All right, folks, I'm going to head out of here. Hopefully you have a good stream the rest of the stream here. And
all right.
We'll talk to you again soon, I'm sure. Have
All
fun, everybody. Take care.
And I'll be badgering to get into a next Midnight Ed stream somehow. So.
We'll see. All right. Take care, guys.
Come on, Ricky. I mean the show. All right. Okay. Yeah. Regarding Gary Lockwood, the reason why they never seen it on television because it only lasted maybe 2 seasons. I'm not even sure about that. It was at least one or two on NBC. And you got to have at least 3 seasons, preferably 5, to get a show. Back in those days, to get a show in syndication. Because the idea is you have to, how long you can run a strip a show, which is 5 days a week, on someone like in the afternoon, without repeating yourself. And with only 2 seasons, I'm not even sure they have 2 seasons. But I think with that, you're repeating yourself after 2 months. Now, 3 seasons, you got you're going through Star Trek had 79 episodes at that point. So you can go a few months before having to start repeating yourself there. So and also Star Trek had a major following. And come on, here we are. Yeah, actually, it's 1 season, 64 to 63, 64. And so we had a grand total of. Let's get up here. Could be. No. Grand total of 29 episodes. So you're talking 1 month. Then, at that point, you're repeating yourself. Yeah, actually, Gary Lockwood was actually signed to do 2001 when they were doing the second pilot when No Man's Gone Before. Like, that was one of the concerns that Lockwood brought up to Roddenberry. Look, I've signed to do this thing with Kubrick, in England. But it's like the way production schedule it worked out. He's able to do it and still get over to England and do 2001. But it was a favor to Roddenberry, really, because hey, the lieutenant actually did fairly well in the ratings. Lockwood was quite the heartthrob thing. But again, Roddenberry made NBC look very stupid with that episode. The episode was to set it right, and it's about racism in the Marine Corps. Now, anybody with half a brain would know it's the mid '60s. You got a lot of good old boys joining the service. So yeah, you got a lot. There were race riots at Travis Air Force Base in the late '60s. For God's sakes, okay, that's the Air Force. But the Marines were not going to acknowledge that there is racism within the Corps. They're all green. They're no black and white nor yellow. They're all green. Now you got light green guys, get the dark green guys. That's right. But thinking they want to do this episode, about tackling the issue of racism. And the Marine Corps pulled because they were shooting at Camp Pendleton They're using actual Marines as background extras. The Marines pulled the support, so they suddenly had to shoot on lot. Roddenberry's out there drilling extras on how to closer to march, and they're stuck on the existing sets because of that. But and also the usual complaint: Southern stations aren't going to run this, and we need those Southern stations, So, well, Roddenberry screened the thing for the NAACP, won an award for it and everything, and made NBC look like a bunch of racist, backwater crap. And they never forgot. They didn't forget that, and that's why the Lieutenant was pulled after one season, even though the fact it was actually doing pretty good in the ratings. It could have run for a few years there. So suffice it to say, when Herb Solo crowded into NBC headquarters with Gene Roddenberry in tow, they were not enthused because they knew what a pain in the ass this guy was to begin with, and they also knew about Majel too, because when they saw the pilot and they were rejecting the character of number one, it wasn't because it's a woman. It's got look, Herb, it's his girlfriend. She was hanging out all the time on the Lieutenant, for Christ's sake. Okay, yeah. Herb didn't know about it. He wasn't around then. But they knew about it. They'd go to visit the set, and there's Majel hanging around, hanging around Gene, and they knew that wasn't his wife. Yeah, I think largely now, I've actually got in our situation here, I've got Blu-rays of the original series and DVDs of all the movies, including the director's edition of the motion picture and a MST3K version. No, Lucy had nothing to do with that. She had other things to worry about. This was the network stepping in and wanting to say, no, you're not going to give the female lead to your girlfriend, okay? Because there are any number of female actresses they would have been fine with. Because we had female-led shows previous to this. Blanking on the names, but Barbara Stanwyck had her own show for a while. Loretta Young had her own show for these anthology shows, really.
That would be irony of ironies if NBC stepped in and bought Star Trek.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, a lot of poetic justice if NBC Universal's turned out to be the one that ends up getting their hands on Star Trek again. Because at the very least, there's got to be some institutional memory of what it takes to make the thing. They can pull up the record. Yep, this is what I spent in 66, 67. This is what it takes. Whereas CBS had no experience whatsoever in making Star Trek at any level, at any time. But the old thing, they turned it down in favor of Lost in Space because after picking Roddenberry's brain of how do they overcome certain production issues, like how do you go about doing a different planet? Well, you just change the color of the sky and rearrange the rocks. Okay.
But these days,
well, yeah. Again, Lucy had nothing. If you're talking about the Herb Solo Bob Justman thing, I have read that, and I've also listened to the audio thing. There's nothing about Lucy recording Majel be fired. Majel had nothing. Lucy had nothing to do with Majel at all. In fact, for a while, Lucy thought the show was about a troupe of actors traveling the South Seas and during the war on the USO tour. Okay. What I wish someone would come up if somebody took a picture of when they were trying to wrap up where no man has gone before, and they're having a problem with some of the debris with the track for the camera, and they needed someone with a broom to just sweep ahead of the camera, and everyone else their hands there. And Lucy, who was next door in the next downstage, waiting to kick off the wrap party, in a sparkly cocktail dress, but still the old hoofer from she's still a working class gal. Got a broom and she's the one sweeping the camera and sweeping ahead of the camera so they can get that last shot and call it a wrap. I just like someone to produce a picture of that. We're on Delta Vega, the rocks and the thing, and there's Lucy with a flaming red hair and sparkly cocktail dress with a broom swooping ahead of the camera. Because that's the kind of gal Lucille Ball was. Whatever got the job done, show must go on. And what I've heard, the atmosphere at Desilu was very much because it was run by, founded by Desi and Lucy, hence the name. So it was fun by creatives, and it was a very creative atmosphere type thing where people come in, wander around the sets and go to the and then working on your script and interact with stuff. Whereas when Paramount comes in, suddenly it's all corporate. What are you doing here? Why is this taking 15 takes to get this thing? Just do it, once or twice and then get on with it. But you can't make a TV show like you're bagging up a box of sugar, okay? No, and there's been some, there's been a few complaints about some of the accuracy of Inside Star Trek, the Herb Solo book anyway, because Harlan Ellison talking about there's a picture of him supposedly getting drunk and going on. Harlan didn't drink at all. He tried one beer in his life that made him sick. He never touched it again. That was years before the supposed incident. So he called Solo and Just on the carpet. Hey, this didn't happen. This is an outright lie. And he didn't like the response either. But so yeah, there are issues because you're dealing with a lot of people faulty memories. What happened 50, 60 years ago. So I found best thing kind of read them all. And somewhere in the middle there, you're going to find, what actually happened. Because I think, between Roddenberry's authorized biography and then there's the unauthorized biography where it gets a little more into the weeds then. And then also inside, Shatner's Inside Star Trek book and then Solo and Justman's book on there. And also to cap it all off, the Yvonne Fern book, the last conversation, where the long series of interviews with Roddenberry. You can actually hear the man himself in later days. I don't know if it was last days, but you get a better picture of the guy. And that's why, whenever somebody's like, oh, Roddenberry? Well, I think actually I kind of do now. Okay. I made a study of the guy, I think I got a pretty good handle on how his mind works. So when I say that, how would Roddenberry think of Discovery? He'd fire the whole lot of you idiots. Okay. This is not the way the Federation works. These are despicable characters. Get the hell off this lot. Making a Star Trek went into it. I don't think they went into detail though. There's a series of books though. I think they're almost self-published though, but they're like big thick suckers, one for each season. These are the voyages, and it's really the making of Star Trek on steroids. They got a chapter for each episode. What was going on in the world around us, at the time. And I've caught them on an error or two because they talk about the Rolling Stones on the Ed Sullivan show. Going, you're being banned. Well, there's a little more detail than that. But also help those series of books especially. Vic Mignon has done the audio books for him, and actually I want to get those because they get people to do the voices of these people who are long gone, and some are still around. They got Dorothy Fontana for a long time before she passed. But yeah, it goes into the original concept for this episode, what changes were made to the script. Why it aired 5 weeks later than it should have because the special effects took for freaking ever. Or the alternative factor is a fun read because you got the whole thing with John Drew Barrymore, who's supposed to play Lazarus, but's got one of his famous colds, as in he got drunk off his ass and couldn't perform, trying to get out of his contract, and then the studio had to go and sue his ass. Meanwhile, poor Robert Brown gets brought in literally at the last minute. I mean, he's told on Friday, hey, I got his agent, I got a gig for you in Star Trek. Get on the plane, be here Monday. And he is basically, ushered to the studio, handed the script at the same time as being taken to wardrobe for fitting. It's like, so that, there's a reason why that's one of the later episodes of the air because it took forever. But yeah, really, air date order, banish it from any kind of usefulness at all. All it shows, these were available at the time. Because Because you look at the ones that aired first, or the ones that really did. Yeah, Richard Edlund, as a matter of fact, he's the one who came up with the font for the titles. Because the original titles in the Cage and also for the credits for the first season were all just kind of standard font. I mean, like I think of standard font now. I can do a little poking around. I can dig it up. I think it's kind of like Impact or something. But for the return of the second pilot, they came up with a specialized typeface, and that's the standard Star Trek font. And Richard Edlund did that. He was working at Howard Anderson Company at the time. I mean, the original idea was Howard Anderson would handle the effects. As the story goes, Roddenberry and Justman get tired of waiting for the title sequence to show up, so they go over there. And I think Howard Anderson was on the lot. That's why one of the reasons they got the gig. So they go over there and they want to see how the title sequence are coming along and the other effects shot, but mainly the title thing. And I think it may have been Howard Anderson himself or one of the upper guys, or one of the upper guys, just kind of burst into tears. You're not going to make your air date, and runs out of the room. And so Justin's kind of like, what the hell do we do? Run, okay, fine. Come with me, Bob. They go into the edit bay and they put together the original title sequence by themselves. Edit the splice. This is back in the days when it was literally razor blade, cut, splice, and they cobbled together what few effects shots were usable into the title sequence that that we know. And that was, and again, from the title sequence from The Cage pretty much was the template they used from that point on. But also being clear that no one effects shop is going to be enough to do it, because they were doing effect sequences that motion pictures weren't really doing much. There wasn't a lot of blue screen at that point. Not much. Because Forbidden Planet, for example, that was all in camera. That was wires and things coming up. Yeah, Dykstra was Trumbull's assistant with 2001. Worked at that. Brian Johnson did the effects for Empire Strikes Back, and I think there was a drop off because I'm not sure what the hell happened, but with the pyrotechnics, but one of the things that Joe Viscoso, master at pyrotechnics for movies, he even worked on Independence Day, and I think he actually died a few years ago. But he that's the guy in the field you want to go to if you can. But it's something you don't really notice unless it's pointed out to you. But all the TIE fighters in the first Star Wars film, when they blew up, there was a green tinge to it. It's logical. They're the same fighter. They're going to be using the same fuel, the same stuff. So they blow up, they're going to look the same explosion. So along comes Empire Strikes Back, and it is literally the exact opposite. One of them is purple, one of them's orange, one of them's it's all different colors of the rainbow. It's like, and that one, it's like just a slap of something. Whoever did that, just slap them upside the head. What the hell are you doing? I mean, there was a difference in the effects anyway, because the way they did it. But that whole thing with the explosion, why? You're trying to be cute, This has already been established, and very good reason. There's no reason for when one TIE fighter blows up, be purple, one of them tries to be orange. But it's kind of to play devil's advocate as far as Dykstra and ILM and all that stuff. George comes back from England. They finished principal photography, and there's virtually no usable footage from the effects shop. They're taking a sweet ass time, and and then blow up one TIE fighter, and so George Pruitt, now he's already directed the movie. Now he has to go in and take over directing the special effects, get these guys going, because the studio's breathing down his neck. They're guys at 20th Fox are one to just pull the plug on the movie entirely. Well, the Snow Walker, that was all stop motion anyway. So that one, the blue screen stuff, and that was the inserts of the snow speeders coming in, but
But that was the case. And one of the things that Lucas has kind of had a bit of a mantra on is any movie, the next one up should be pushing the technology forward somewhat. And with the Empire, that one was kind of, trying to let's advance the art of stop motion. It was probably one of the last big stop motion movies, sequences made. Because after that is when Dragon Slayer came along and they came up with Go Motion, where it's still technically stop, but there's a little bit of a movement involved, so they get a little motion blur, and that's more realistic. And that's what they did in Jedi with the walkers. They used some Go Motion stuff. Wait, are you doing a stop motion? You do the whole thing, miniature sets and the models. But with Star Trek though, they were really doing a motion picture's worth of effects in some episodes on a TV budget and a very, very tight. Yeah. There's a few shots where snow speeders getting blown down, and the mats are very obvious because the fireball thing. Ooh. And that's the kind of thing that probably George go back. I think I want to go back and redo this. We got better. We can do this better now. He likes to tinker. It's probably his background with hot rods. I think he'd like to go back and I think if I tweak this a little bit, I'm probably a little better. If I go back and tweak this movie a little bit, make it a little better. So I think that's where that's coming from. I think that was probably more Doug Trumbull thing because Trumbull, like, he wanted the Enterprise, even twice the size of what they had. And what they had was like 9 feet long. So he'd have been happy with an 18-foot long. If they had given him the original miniature from the series, that was 11 feet long. He still would have wanted a bigger model. He likes them big. He didn't like them the little periscopes he can get them close. He wanted to just get in there with a camera. And that one thing that irritates me to this day, though, is that when Star Trek Motion Picture came out, they didn't show it on any of the big screens out here, the really big ones. And we had 3 of them at the time: the Cooper, the Continental, which is still up, and then the Sector 21. The Cooper is now a Barnes and Noble. The Sector 21 is now a audio, equipment shop, and then so the Continental is the last one of the really big, VistaVision screen. Not really VistaVision, but it was a big wide screen, and they had 1,000-seat, auditorium. But the fact that they did not run Star Trek on one of those, it was always this little cracker box, 2 or 3 screen theaters. The biggest screen that ran out here was at the Aladdin, which was an old theater from like the 20s, which unfortunately now is a Walgreens. Somewhere I've still got pictures of the Aladdin with the big billboard on top advertising Star Trek Motion Picture. Well, that's another thing. The sad thing about moving away from actually going to the theater, because that movie, because of that dry dock sequence, that needs to be seen on the big screen to really be appreciated. I mean, you can't just try. Oh, I know you've got money, you want to spend that. You got to see that thing on the big screen. Even if it's a jinky little 200-foot 200-seat theater, it's still a big screen. You got to say, wow, that's where you really get an appreciation of just how big that ship is. We're supposed to be. So I can just imagine that thing on a big screen like the Continental. And again, and branching off from that, they're David C. Fine worked with Robert Wise when they, especially when they were doing the director's edition. And Fine made a promise to Robert Wise that he would. I think Wise, he didn't have many years left, but he made that he would get this thing back on the big screen, which meant high def. The director's edition DVD is essentially a test run of what the finished movie is supposed to look like. And there's still some tweaking to do, apparently. I mean, you still fix a few things here and there. But the effects of them coming out on the hull, they're not done to high def standards, but apparently the resources are there to do it. The high def. I think that's one thing you mentioned. That, it's not. We don't have to redo everything. We got everything we need to do them again. And I think they may have actually done some of the high def, but they just didn't release it. But they could, they're so keep pushing CBS Home Video or whoever to do a Blu-ray version at least of Star Trek Motion Picture and the Director's Edition, so they can get the thing finished. Because that was the Star Trek Motion Picture was the one big glaring disappointment in Robert Wise's career, and why he never talked about it for years, because it was never finished in his mind. What we've experienced was the longest test screening in motion picture history. That was a rough cut. That was not a finished cut that they premiered, and they kind of went back because he was sure that he would have a final cut that they would go back and finish the movie. No, they kept it out there, and every video released to a certain point. And not only that, they did the what could be called the ABC version, where when they aired it, they had to justify running over 2 nights, so they dragged in all kinds of outtakes and extra stuff. Which there was all the character bits that the show needed to make it make a little more sense, but also a few things that weren't finished, like Kirk going through the airlock where you can still see the scaffolding on the outside. It's a different spacesuit.
Wasn't it said that the print for the premiere of Star Trek Motion Picture was literally carried from the studio?
Robert Weiss carried it literally under his arm, personally, to the premiere in Washington, D.C. at the Air and Space Museum. And he didn't know what it looked. He didn't have to screen himself. He's like, I think Shatner asked him, how was the movie? I have no idea. Because it was also the first time he had never been allowed to do a test screening for a movie where they could go back and address the concerns. No, this was the test screening. Since December 7th, 1979, we have been in a test screening for Star Trek Motion Picture. And we have had a bit of a sneak of what the finished film should look like when they came up with the director's cut about 10 years ago. So I think it's finally time to finish the damn movie. Yeah, well, also, as far as that, the $44 million budget for motion picture, they settled it with all the costs that they had racked up for the Phase 2 series, which never happened. The cost of the movie itself was maybe 15-20 million. The rest of it was all just working on sets they didn't use, and costume kinds that they independently put back in the closet, and a model that they never used either. And buying scripts that are still sitting in somebody's filing cabinet somewhere waiting to be used. Occasionally get dragged out. I don't know if Planet of the Titan, maybe they were, because Paramount is legendary for being the most stingiest studio in Hollywood. They've had that designation for decades. That's why for up until the mid '80s they were claiming that Star Trek, the original series of Star Trek, was still in the red. And then Roddenberry's trying to sue for where the hell am I back row? Sure, the show's made some money now. No, we're still showing the red ink here. It wasn't until Shatner joined in with his lawyers and technique, because he, as the star of the show, he owned a piece of that show. That was standard thing with the network show at the time. You give your lead a certain percentage, usually a very small percentage, but still a percentage. Which is kind of what when Jack Lord was offered the part, he wanted 50% ownership. The thing is, there wasn't 50% left to give at that point. It's like the studio had at least 50%, and then it's divvied up from there with everyone else. So that sorry, Jack, we ain't got it to give, even if we could. But yeah, they probably did tack on the cost of Planet of the Titans, wrapping up over the years, and where that one Nimrod had thought, how about some Aztecs? There were no Aztecs at the beginning of time. What the hell are you talking about? We'll figure out some way. I'm sure Ralph McQuarrie was already paid. and they kind of mangled his design. I mean, well, they actually did a little kind of a study model of Corey design, kind of like foam core and cardboard, and it uses a background shot in a few things. It shows up in Star Trek 3 in the space dock scene is one of the background ships, and it's also in that little kind of debris field in Wolf, in Best of Both Worlds, where always wrecked ships. That and a secondary hull from a costume class refit. All kinds of fun looking at the minutiae in some of these effect shots. There's also a study designed for an idea for the Excelsior, which didn't get past that stage. But yeah, they still got again those unused Phase 2 scripts. The idea when I'm redoing my fan film documentary, being a little more up to date and hopefully better sound and a little better production wise. But the idea why they changed it to Phase 2 is they were going to start doing those Phase 2 scripts. But again, it was getting close to the time when JJ was getting up his version, and CBS was getting a little territorial. And I guess and because I guess even then JJ was talking about possibly doing a TV series based on it, so they wanted all the scripts available that they could. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Troy and Riker was a Leland Decker, and Data was essentially Quester. Because anything Roddenberry was fair game when he's dragging up stuff. Counter Farpoint, not so much. That was now that was a pretty original idea from Dorothy Fontana, with a extra plot baggage of Q tacked on by Roddenberry, which Dorothy didn't particularly appreciate, but okay, he's the boss. That's why you kind of got two different plot lines going on. Enterprise trying to figure out what's up with the station, and this Kibitzer on the side saying, "Hey, we're going to judge you as a savage race. You shut up and get off my bridge." But I remember when Richard Arnold was at StarCon doing a little presentation of what's coming up with this new Star Trek Next Generation thing. And they came to Data, and they kind of hinted at what was coming up with the Naked Now. I guess with he's fully functional. I think I shout out there, Questor lives. But yeah, there's a little bit of Questor in Data in here. But in that standpoint, I think Andromeda, that fits perfectly in the Roddenberry formula, because you got Dylan Hunt, a man, suspended and out of his time. A couple of years, wakes up a couple hundred years later, is a totally different world. Everything's falling apart, and he has to go about rebuilding things. That's the plot line for Genesis 2. Couple that with an idea that never really got anywhere beyond that Ring Starship design called Starship, where it'd be the adventures of a sentient starship and their crew. Q and Trelane are Peter David did a novel, looked into the two of them, but really it's just another omnipotent godlike being testing the humans. That's about the only connection there. Roddenberry liked doing that. One is an easy out. These guys are so far advanced, we have no way of understanding it, so no bother explaining it. So we got Q, you got Trelane, you got the Metrons, you got the Organians. You like pulling that card. But yeah, it's just go back to the Roddenberry bag of unused ideas, throw them together, and then you got Captain Dylan Hunt on the Starship Andromeda having to rebuild the planetary, the Commonwealth, what is it? Commonwealth something or other. And the thing is, with that one, they after the first couple of seasons, they were okay, job done. What do we do now? It's and that's when they start getting into the stuff. But let's go out and have some fun here. Let's get this ship out, and go exploring stuff. Maybe work on getting a full crew back on this behemoth. Because Andromeda is a big ship. It is huge. It's like it makes the Galactica look a little tiny. Okay. But if they, again, if they on Discovery, if they go down that road, we got to rebuild the Federation. I expect a lot of mashup pictures coming up with Andromeda looming over Discovery. Like, excuse me, work your own side of the road. But let's see. Like, the old mantra though, when they brought in Harv Bennett, talking about doing Star Trek 2. But what you can do with this sort of thing, and one executive said, "Can you for that much money, I can make it. They make me 10 movies." It's like, okay, you're hired.
Systems Commonwealth.
Systems Commonwealth, yeah, that was Andromeda. Yeah, Apollo, Charlie X, Gary Mitchell. He liked the idea because they like the idea of commenting on the nature of omnipotence. Okay, what would happen if you do become a god? How much human is left after that type of thing? And in the case of Gary Mitchell, it also provide a nice little captive thing. We have Bill Shatner in a fist fight with a god. Okay, how much bare knuckle fist fight? That's entertainment in network size. Okay, yeah, good fighting. The bad guys die and everyone lives and wanders off and does happy ever after. So he was never particularly happy with that one, but it got the show sold. So okay, whatever. And I frankly have the contention that at that time, going back into the in-universe history thing, Spock was not the first officer at that point. He was a science officer. I think it was Gary Mitchell who was the first officer. And so once Gary, went bye-bye, and then the slots open, and Spock had, proven himself pretty well at that point. Hey, you want the job? Yeah, I definitely got a feeling that Gary was the actual first officer. And they never specified who was the first officer at that point. They're still trying to figure this shit out. They thought about it actually when they were doing the remaster. They thought about correcting it, but like no, because Roddenberry always used that as a touchstone to say, it was proved that despite his omnipotence, Gary was still a fallible human. That he got that simple detail wrong. The fact is that nothing. One, they hadn't even sold the show yet, so there's no thought to what Kirk. And if you look, the early run, it's not Captain James T. Kirk. It's dig the traitor on his way to a prison, whatever, be hanged. But I think that's where that probably came in. I think Gene Kuhn contributed the initial T, which probably worked fine because was anyway. But it's probably why he felt free to give him one. But giving his characters a middle name of Tiberius, because so that may have been a thing. But I think even at the time, probably it was just probably had no idea what it stood for. Just Game T Kirk. Okay, whatever. Because a little example, when they were doing Spider-Man, it's established as Peter Parker in Amazing Fantasy 15. But in between that time and Amazing Spider-Man #1, a few months had gone by. They'd only done one Spider-Man story. So when it comes on to bring the character back, Stan Lee's forgotten what the hell the character's name is. Okay, you can call him Peter Palmer. And it wasn't until later, that wasn't the character. Okay, okay. So you always got to remember, take in mind the environment in which these stories are put together. Because then, what? That's not right. Well, it wasn't wrong at the time. No one knew what the hell his name was. And again, the first pilot was made in 1964. Second pilot in 1965. And then they started filming the regular series in the summer of 1966. There's a lot of gaps in between there, and a lot of time. And for a show that, again, you'd only filmed 2 very different pilots at that point. And you're getting ready to start filming the first episode of this thing. You don't have the 50 years of backstory and canon and all that stuff. You're just making the thing up. That, again, that's where Gene Coon kind of got skipped down a lot of credit, because before it was the Earthship Enterprise. It was when Gene Coon came in that he started the closest they got was they started getting towards it when Tomorrow's Yesterday, where he still got stuff, the United Earth Space Probe Agency, which, there's a few bits early on where, if you blink, you miss it, referred to as USPA. And this is the one and only time they actually spelled out what it stood for. So that's why it stands out. And there was other, like in Charlie X, USPA command, what? You carry on to the next thing because things are blowing up all around you. But it really was Gene Coon who came up with the United Federation of Planets, because I think he's looking at this needs to be more than, you got an alien on board, you got to have more than one planet involved. So he come up with the Federation, the Prime Directive, and moving on from that. And that's when we start seeing the Star Trek universe as we know it. Yeah, and that kind of goes with Harlan Ellison. The Star Trek was a cop show. They're going around being cops. Yeah, I think Roddenberry kind of likened Starfleet to sort of like the Coast Guard. Like, yeah, the Coast Guard has guns, but that's not their job out there. They're mainly keeping people safe. But if you run into them, they can back it up. Yeah, that's nothing. Really should get Justin set up somehow with the original cut of the second pilot, because it's very different theme song. It's kind of like that Quinn Martin production thing where they title and acts, act 1, act 2. Because again, they're still trying to figure this crap out. How do we want to do this? Like, yeah, that first theme was good. Well, let's try another one. Let's see how this works. It's better. No, I like the first one better. And trying to work out the uniforms a bit better. So, by the time we get to I look at the Corbomite maneuver really as the third pilot. Well, back then, really it was 4 acts. You got a teaser, and then there was 4 commercial breaks. Because something that you want to track down, it's on YouTube. I can dig the link up for it, but somebody got a hold of a print of Space Seed with the commercial inserts from the first rerun. That's also why I don't like the idea of going by air date, because there were times during the run of the show that they would take a pause out and then repeat some episodes. So if air date is also damn important, what do you do about the points where it's rerun? But let's see. Space Seed. Let's probably find it in this listing here. But basically, the way these things would run, here we are. First rerun, open, close, and commercial breaks. You need to check this out sometime, because you will note commercial breaks at this point were literally one commercial. I mean, it was like you'd have the NBC Peacock come on, following programs on Living Color on NBC. Then they go into the teaser, then the opening credits, and then in this case, it's like I buy a Polaroid, bring you the new X, whatever for 1967, and you'd have a short commercial for the Polaroid camera, and then you're back to the show, and then you'll get through Act one commercial, back to the show, and then next commercial break at the half-hour mark, one commercial, and then nothing. Next commercial break, I think maybe you had no, it's not another one commercial. Then there's Act 4. End up on that. Then you have like 2 or 3 quickies. Instead of the 1 minute commercials, like a couple of 15-second ones and a 30-second. And then you run the teaser for next week on Star Trek, and then the closing credits. And that's how you got an episode of like 52 minutes of the hour slot. Whereas now you're lucky to get 43 minutes. That's how much commercial time is eaten up into the show. And which half the time you got to put up a thing. You're watching something. Oh, I'd forgotten. But I could dig out the Blu-ray and run it through. But or I'm also another video somewhere of the original version. Let's see where No Man is Gone Before. There's the deleted scenes. That. And yes, PayPal is encouraged over the super chats and the in the Patreon, because PayPal is immediate. And we need it immediately. But let me do a quick little scan through this one here. Get past the stupid commercial. Yeah, that's muted. So we got the New of the Galaxy. The ship can go on. Star Trek Act 1. Tonight's episode, Where No One's Gone Before. Still in the credits, not on there. Act 2. Act 3. Okay. And then, closing up. So, yeah. But again, they were still trying to figure this crap out. Here, look at that. That's Adele. I think she's lost her showing to her person. Face looks very different, not quite as round. But anyway, let me look at the. All right, nobody else has even responded. Oh, come on. It's probably too late in the day, late in the night for Rabbi. Man, Rob never checks his messages, so who the hell knows? No. Not much. Most of the technical issues on this thing really relate to just the connection with the hotel Wi-Fi. So, because this computer is fairly new, and otherwise it's got serious horsepower, but this the connection occasionally gone a little weird. Yeah. Keep it up. Yeah, I always got to keep in mind, it's kind of, again, it kind of goes back to when talking to Jason about, how do I become a Whovian type thing, I think a lot of it, it's how much are you into all the behind the scenes stuff, because if you just want to, just the show itself is, you're only going to get so far. If you want to really start digging into it, like with the case of Doctor Who, about them having to shoot at, Lime Grove Studio, which is decrepit even than it's when they were there, and having to deal with the lack of budget and the sixth floor. Like if you're really getting, it helps if you're kind of a fanatical fan of something. You can transfer that over to something like Doctor Who. When you start going to why this episode did this, what was going on there. You knew, who made the costumes and who, you see all these memos of, Bob Justman's passing around. So there's a big element of, no, we don't own the show, but we kind of feel like we've been a part of it. We've been able to, play the fly on the wall and listen in on these conversations. So when someone comes along and decides that you're just a fanboy, go away, you're not a part of this. So yeah, we know more about the show than you do, Joker. Okay. And I'm sure they've probably been taken aback a few times with some of the rather technical questions come up. Or instead of the usual, why, Michael Burnham's so genius, can I marry her? And it's like, how about, why are you doing this with the cinema? The cinematography is all wrong on this shot here, and what the hell? This is not consistent. This is not the way warp drive works. And I was like, who the hell are these guys? And it's like, we're trickies. That's what we are. You should have learned that when you took the gig, But yeah, it is. Yeah, it's kind of at 2:00. We've been at this for over 2 hours. So for those coming in late and for some reason watching along this long, I don't see anybody, watching this thing for this bloody long. But links in the description, PayPal, Patreon, like, share, subscribe, yada yada yada. And I think we'll just go ahead and call it a day here because I probably should take what little we got and actually get some lunch. So we will talk at you later, folks.